Oh, hello guys, welcome back. Yes, I'm using my I'm going to murder people voice. Isn't that lovely? What actually happened today is I had one of my typical days on the other channel. My typical day on the other channel is go in and have my soul beaten just a little more every day. People complain, people whine, people post nasty stuff because they don't want to work on their own life or their own problems or their own channel, and they want to make me quit. So that is on the typical. That is every day I go in and I deal with that and I get to block people, and it's simply lovely. And today I had someone from this channel who's now not on either channel. Congratulations, you won the door prize. We call it swinging the band hammer on the live stream for the other channel. I'm quite good at it because I have zero tolerance. I played last year when I was tanked out on depression medication and I was pretty darn suicidal, and my people knew it and they knew I was struggling with stuff. I had someone make a nasty comment about how you don't get to make trigger jokes. I don't like them because they didn't like the way I was dealing with my PSTD and I made jokes about it. And it's like, well, one, I don't care if you also have PSTD, you don't get to judge me, princess. And two, this is how I deal with it. This is how I deal with PSTD. This is how I deal with games triggering stuff. And one of the controversies in video game communities is, do video games get to deal with stuff? Do they get to deal with depression, suicide, PSTD, being triggered, everything else? Should you be able to play games when you're depressed? Should it only be like a bunch of happy, sappy people, making YouTube a happy, sappy, family-friendly place? I'm one of those people that I'm like Boogie, if you know him, that, if you watch his one channel, you'll really like him. He seems like a great guy. And then you go watch him play video games and he's like, F you and suck my mmm. Well, no, that's not him, that's me. I'm sorry. We're kind of alike. And I usually try not to do that on that channel anymore. But there are a few older videos up that I just left up because I kind of like to remember where I was. And this video this person saw was mild because it was just me dealing with suicidal tendencies and remembering my horrific past as I played. And, I said some stuff about being triggered. And I like to use gallow humors to deal with the PSTD and deal with being triggered. And that's me. And if you don't like it, suck it. And the person obviously had a problem with it. And it's like, oh my God, honey, you can't survive me, because if you people think that's bad, you should have seen me play Resident Evil or play anything else. I played Outlast when I first had that channel. Every other word was suck my and F you and you're a DB and everything else, because I was just dealing with a lot of stuff. I, in depression medication, don't mix, and I, in certain games, do not mix, because certain games, I told them on that channel, I said, it's kind of certain games. Now what do? As I've learned as I play the channel, I just turn my mic off. Certain games, I am cussing from one end of that game to the other, especially like if I play a grinder like Cuphead or something. I'm like constantly cursing and yelling and getting constantly triggered because I'm not good enough. And yeah. And a lot of things will trigger me. Anything can trigger me. I'm very edgy. I can be an edgelord. And it's like, that's just me. That's just me. I usually have it together when I get on the mic on this channel, but not always. And you've seen that. And it's like, I'm not going to change who I am on that channel because it upset one person. So they got banned from both channels. And to bring Loki into the discussion, Loki isn't going to say I'm right and that person's wrong, or that person's right and I'm wrong. He's just going to leave it alone, because everyone deals with stuff differently. And it's like I told you, we don't have to like each other to both work with Loki, because we obviously don't. And we don't have to deal with Loki in the same way, because we obviously don't. I'm done with, and I'm not saying this person does this, by the way, but I'm done with being that person sits there and cries about having PSTD or depression or suicidal tendencies. I make mean, dark, edgy jokes about it. I use a lot of gallows humor on that channel. I make a lot of dark, nasty jokes on that channel, and obviously the person didn't like it. And it's like, well, that's just too bad. That's how I am. which is why I don't have like millions of followers, because I'm dark and edgy a lot of the times. And I never know when it's going to come up. I can be playing a game and like be like really sweet for an entire game, and then the next time I play a game, the edgelord comes out and I'm making these dark suicidal jokes that most people that don't know me are like, that's highly inappropriate. And I'm like, I'm coping, dude. Shut the floof up. So yeah, Loki doesn't judge us. He doesn't judge me for, I use that gallows humor. And I felt very judged and angry and cornered when this person made this thing, because I'm like, this is a shit, excuse my language, I go through every day. People are always judging me for how I act, and people are always judging me for what I say, and people are always judging me for how I deal with my depression and how I deal with my past and how I deal with being triggered. And I kind of had enough of it. So the best thing to do was to ban the person for both channels, because, and you notice I make a lot of these videos, don't you? But that's why. It's like, I'm not going to fight with you. I don't want to fight on Facebook. I don't want to fight on YouTube. I'm not your friend. Go away. Just, leave me be. We obviously can't get along. If people don't like a dark side of my nature, don't go on the video game channel. You're going to see it, and you're going to see a lot of it. Because you are always stressed when you run a channel like that. People are always in competition with you. People always gotta come pee on your lawn. People always have to judge every single thing you say and do. And that definitely triggers me, because I went through it with my family, and I will just go into an absolute rage, because that's my response to being triggered. I will go into absolute rage. So, we all deal with it differently. If you have PTSD, everyone deals with it differently. You don't just get it through, being in war. Unfortunately, if you have like a very abusive, childhood or past or, present, you can develop it, certainly. I don't like using it for a crutch. I don't. I will use it, and I will explain to you frankly, this is why I act like such a hot mess, because I do have it. But I don't go around using it to attack people. If people make a PTSD joke or a trigger joke, or it becomes like gaming nomenclature, which it is now, I know to roll with it, because that's life. I had a therapist tell me, you can't become a special snowflake because you're depressed and attack everyone for making depression jokes. You kind of have to learn to go with the flow. You kind of have to learn, like if you're gay, for example, and I am, you kind of have to learn that everybody's going to open their mouth. Most homophobic comments come in the gaming community. A lot of people on YouTube open their mouth and say stupid things about gay people, and they go, oh, I didn't mean it that way. Yeah, you did. I just don't give a crap anymore, because if I got triggered every time someone made a gay comment, or I got triggered to use it in gaming nomenclature way every time someone said gay in a game, or someone, for example, both my parents died of cancer, and like cancer is a common word in gaming nomenclature. It still pisses me off, but I don't get triggered every time I say it, because I know most people are assholes. Excuse my language, but I'm getting demonetized anyway, so I don't care at this point. So it's like, I know most people are immature, and you can't, if you do have PTSD, one tip I will give you, a survival tip, don't let everything trigger you. I'm not judging you, but don't do it, because you will go batshit crazy, and I've been there. Don't let people talking about being triggered trigger you. Don't let people not dealing with being triggered in the same way trigger you. Don't let use of words like whatever normally triggers you set you off. Just kind of learn to like chill and go with a flow. And if you find yourself you're being triggered and you're taking offense, learn to walk away. Right now it's really hard for those of us that are being demonetized. So instead of fighting with every person that has theirs and is telling those of us that are getting demonetized it's either our fault or we're not trying hard enough, I'm walking away. I'm just not watching their channel. I'm like, good for you. You have it. You're sucking up to the boss. Boy, did I clean that one up. And I can't fight with everybody. I can't say I have PTSD, put a chip on my shoulder, and say knock it off. And I can't do that. I can't use PTSD as my shield. Loki would not like it. He would not like me using depression or anything else as a shield either. I can explain things. I can say, hey, I was having a shit day when I recorded that. I was thinking about suicide, and I don't call hotlines and I don't go to groups. I deal with it by gaming. That's my coping mechanism. So yeah, you're allowed to explain yourself as long as you're usually not shouting or waving a weapon. That's bad. That's a one-way tip to get to mental health. But you know, you don't get to go around using it as a shield and a weapon to attack people with either. And I'm not saying that's what happened here, but the person was offended. I'm like, well, if you don't actually like me, real unfiltered me, get out. Yeah, that's a personality I have. I'm like, if you don't like me, I really don't care. I've gone through it all my life. You think you bother me? So yeah, I'm not for everyone. Just like Loki's not for everyone. We all deal with having PTSD or being triggered or whatever our bag is. Everybody has a bag. Everybody's screwed up in the head. Show me one mentally healthy person, I will show you a good liar. But yeah, we all have it. Loki attracts the broken, and unfortunately the broken cannot get along most of the time. He must feel like he has a bunch of toddlers serving him, and he has to keep them apart. I will try not to keep making video game references. In fact, I told him last night, I'm like, I am never making another video game reference again. And of course, somebody had to start something about an Undertale play, which is why it came up. So, there you go. And yeah, that game really did trigger me. I was going through a really bad time, and when you play genocide, you have to kill everyone. And my rationale during my depression for killing everyone in that game was my mother abandoned me, so everybody gets to die. I had a dark past. Everyone did, though. Everybody's past sucked. As Tom Hiddleston says, everyone has daddy issues. Deal with it, man. So, if you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe. This was a little darker, but I wanted to deal with that because when I've learned in the past, when you don't address stuff directly as soon as you see it, then, trouble brews. But yeah. And you guys know that is why this channel will never grow and never be monetized. Because I'm not going to put up with it. It'd be way too much of a stress knowing I have a judgmental person around. And I don't want this person to contact me on Facebook or YouTube or anything else. I don't want an apology. It's not warranted. You don't like me? Fine. Just, please go away. Stay away. Okay, guys. I will see you later. Bye-bye.